So yeah, Larry, what do you think we're gonna get at the comic shop today, man?
Oh,
What do you want to get?
You know what we're gonna go get. we're gonna go get Fantastic Four Life Story #2.
Number 2.
That's the mission.
How'd you like that number 1?
So #1 was great. It's like the way that they decided to the whole Life Story thing is always about putting the Marvel characters into the actual history of the different eras that they represent. And it's literally like they did it with Spider-Man, where it literally went through the decades, 60s, starting in the 60s and going from the 60s to the 70s, 80s, and so forth and so on. And this issue was pretty amazing just because it connected the Fantastic Four to the space race. And because of Fantastic Four's origin, like, that feels very appropriate. It makes like the connective tissue between those two events was really interesting and cool. So yeah, man, I really enjoyed it.
Now that grounding, man, because I read it too and I enjoyed it too. That grounding, like, that's something you think they would probably do for if they do the MCU Fantastic Four. Is that what it feels like to you when you read this?
It definitely could be, like, if they decided to make Fantastic Four a period piece, I could totally see like this kind of treatment for the story, because it was that good. And it wouldn't surprise me if somebody was using it as a bit of a test bed, or something like that. So yeah, it was great. And so obviously in the MCU Fantastic Four, they're gonna want those characters to be contemporary with all of their heroes that they have out now. So I can't imagine that they would make it a period piece, but if they did, it would be pretty amazing. Like,
it could be locked in the Phantom Zone or something.
Right. Fantastic Four had to bust their way out the negative zone or whatnot. Yeah, I could see
Phantom Zone nerd fail.
Like, we knew what you meant. Yeah. We knew what you meant.
Same shit.
Right.
It's all basically Kirby inspired anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's real.
I really like the characterizations in this. Like, they gave them, a retweaking. It's not even like a reimagining or retelling per se, but it's just a little tweaks here and there, because they all more or less act the same.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I do. I feel like it definitely was just small adjustments to make it fit. But that's the thing. I mean, the Fantastic Four is a product of the 60s. So it's not like you got to make a lot of adjustments to make the thing fit. It's just that, it's just a different context, because you're putting it 100% in like the real world. So, it's like if you have Reed Richards talking to Kennedy, you gotta like make some adjustments in regards to, like, okay, well, why would Reed Richards be talking to Kennedy? And if he did talk to Kennedy, what would his demeanor be like? And where does that character go from that particular spot? You know what I mean? So it's like, it was small adjustments like that. The only thing that I felt a little way about was the way that they portrayed Ben Grimm. Like, he was a little bit more broody than the Ben Grimm that that we all know and love, I think. Ben Grimm, of course, has those moments, and that's part of his character too. But it was slightly different in this, and that was actually for the better. And it's the closest thing I come basically to a criticism, because there are some parts of it that are actually make the story much more interesting. But it could have been tweaked a little bit different. But yeah, everybody was cool. I love Johnny. I love Sue. Like, yeah, everybody was real interesting.
Yeah, well, look, now I'm gonna videotape you putting in your PIN number to buy this gas.
That's why I'm gonna use my Samsung watch. No. So Mo, tell me, what did you think of the Ricardo Jones character?
Now, that's not a guy that existed already, is it?
Well,
Or
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
But that's my whole thing where, he in issue 1, he almost plays almost like a foil to Reed Richards, like
Yeah.
almost like what Dr. Doom or what Von Doom was in the original origin to a degree,
Yeah.
but not quite as nefarious, just more like scientific rivals.
right.
But so I was like, is he gonna be Doom? But then at the same time, almost what threw me was his name is Ricardo Jones.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
it's-
is he Rick Jones?
Yeah.
Like,
Captain
wait a minute.
Marvel.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got too, and everything you're saying is kind of what I felt, and that's why I'm like, this, they're trying to make it feel familiar,
Right.
but it kind of wasn't.
No,
And-
no. I mean, he feels like a completely new character.
Yeah.
But playing roles that we know, with
yeah.
a name that we recognize.
And that,
so all that is kind of strange because it's kind of like, so what? Like I almost feel like in issue 2, like I need to see him do something else, right?
Right,
Like, is he going to be part of their story still, or, Yeah. But I was like, well, yeah. I was just wondering because I was like, what's the vibe with that guy?
I don't know where he's going in terms of Fantastic Four, but it does feel like somebody they would create to like put in a movie if you don't want to if you want to make it just a science adventure,
Yeah.
to get people in, instead of getting like, fuck, we got to do a doom fight,
Right,
because
right.
realistically, I mean, yeah, that's a good, that's an easy way to make a Fantastic Four movie. And it's like, but if you really want to make good Fantastic Four stories, like it could be, adventures in a pocket universe.
Yeah.
It would be almost like a Doctor Who type thing, as much as I don't like to admit it, but Doctor Who science adventures are good.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I just don't like the show. I'd rather just watch Eureka for science fiction adventures or Warehouse 13, because that's kind of the same.
Yeah, it's definitely that
thing.
same vein.
And that's honestly like the easy way to do a Fantastic Four like TV show would be that. And you do the big bad with Doom, but you don't have to defeat Doom right off the bat, and you don't have to have Doom right off the bat. It can be a recurring. That's arch enemy. That's literally by definition what it means. It comes and goes. It's chronic infection.
Right.
And this Ricardo Jones, I think, could be like a way to do that without having to do the baggage that comes with having to put a Doom right on. Because in the reimagining you could do that. Like, Doom is the liaison between the president and Reed Richards. And it's like, yeah, I'm Victor Von Doom, and, they got an immigrant? And it's like, well, yeah,
right.
just like Werner von Braun.
Right.
So it's like that we got him when, the Eastern Bloc did what it did,
Right.
So it's easy to do that, but it's easy.
Yeah.
Easy doesn't necessarily mean good all the time.
I agree.
So,
and I think you're right. Like, if you are rebooting the origin, it's like it might be better to like not have Doom in on that like first part of it. Like, it makes it kind of feel more natural. It's like, because we always how often do we talk about that when we talk about comic book movies, where it's like everybody knows each other, like it's like all, like the villain and the heroine and the friggin' main dude or whatever, like they all grew up together, and everybody's like, it's like, dude, like it feels weird. Like, everyone doesn't have to be connected, or or even like in Batman 89 when they made the Joker friggin' kill his parents or whatever.
Right.
And it's like, which, don't get me wrong, that movie's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things where it's like, dude, what are the odds?
Yeah. It's this way would be a more, maybe like I feel what they could be doing is kind of like the little testing ground.
Yeah.
And saying like, maybe we can sneak him in. Maybe we can't. We'll see how this Ricardo Jones plays. And if they don't, if it doesn't, or if they choose not to, they can still add this guy.
Yeah.
And, it's almost like a reverse Coulson. Like you put this guy in so that you can do other stuff with them there, as opposed to like put this guy in the movie and then it takes off and then crowbar him in everywhere else.
Right.
And, what they did with him was good ultimately.
Yeah.
Comics-wise, I'm not too familiar with it, but, on the shows, like the show, as much as I talk about the special effects budget,
Yeah.
but that's just budget. That's not
Yeah.
content. you know?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, but it'll be interesting because and I've always felt too where it's like, technically speaking, like if you don't have, like, if you're not going to start with Doom, which is probably the way to go at this point, because we've had so many bad or questionable Doom iterations.
Right.
Like, you could totally do like that Mole Man story.
Oh yeah.
And it could be epic. Like, you can, and I'm not saying change Mole Man to make him less Mole Man-y, but he can still be that character and just have a slightly different demeanor and be like more menacing, or menacing enough to be like the main bad guy in a movie, you know what I mean?
Like the Underminer?
Yeah. Yes, like the Underminer. Exactly.
Disney ass Larry. Of course he says like the Underminer.
Hey man, look, Disney knows good stuff when they see it. They're like, that Fantastic Four stuff is fantastic. Who knew?
Non-sponsored.
I know.
But yeah. Now, so you would tell the people to buy this, right? Like easily?
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Easy. It's like, I think that whether you're a Fantastic Four fan or not, you would enjoy Fantastic Four life story. Just because it is a good story. So yeah, you should mess with it.
Cool. Now, look, we let you in on this little conversation with us. Here's the thing. There's a giveaway. I'm gonna give you a digital copy of it. So screenshot now for the code. And yeah, enjoy it. Let us know what you think in the comment section. And catch us live Wednesday nights, 6:30 p.m.-ish Pacific, with Larry and me and two other dudes that you're hopefully going to get to hear talk soon. Peace.